Hello everyone, good morning and good afternoon to some of you. Have my new Christmas present on. Well, Kathy made me these Genos mic shirts and it looks pretty good. And just a few things on the wall here you really don't know about. This one is an article when I was over in Rotterdam, Holland. That's an article out of the Rotterdam newspaper. And it's a letter from Joe Biden, who just got elected president, that he wrote to me. And the official congressional record where he spoke about me in Congress for my work in Delaware. And very nice of him to do that. So we're going to get started with a little multi-pads here. Now, here's the deal. We don't use multi-pads that often because we want to really listen to our style variations. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of this week's song, Smile, so I can show you what I'm talking about. But the styles are so good that you don't need to use multi-pads a lot, but I'm going to show you how you can really use them. And the one thing you want to do is when you're choosing a style for a song, really pay attention to what the different variations do and which instruments are brought in as you move up the ladder. From variation A to B to C to D, and you'll notice that in Smile. So let's get a little look at the multi-pads so you can see a little bit what I'm talking about. So I'm going to flip the camera here in just a second. And let's see here. That's the PSR SX900. And I'll be answering your messages from my iPad there, and this is my little monitor that I use. And here we are on to the Genos. So I'm going to slide this in here so you can see exactly what we're doing here with the multi-pads and whatnot. So let's exit out of here real quick. So I've got this blues shuffle on, and I'm going to have to turn this light off real quick so we get rid of that glare. But with the blues shuffle band, I've got variation A on. Now you can hear that piano going in there. But let's get into our multi-pads. Now I like to go into Legacy, Arranger 1, Arranger 2. They're a lot of the ones that I use most, of all. So you can see in the Legacy, I chose this Boogie Loops. Now, interestingly enough, you have to turn the multi-pads on after you start the style, so it goes in at the same timing, okay? So if we do this, you can hear that extra piano. So you can see it does add a lot there, but you want to make sure there's not too much going on in your variation. So if we listen to all four variations here, sometimes they just keep going, and sometimes they don't. So you have to like learn them. So for instance, when you heard this organ going there and you push it, it's going to keep going until you hit stop. So you kind of get the idea there of what it is. And there's so many of these. You'll see 8-beat, for instance. So there's all kinds of things in here. And here's another picture of a piano, Latin keys. So if I go into a Latin style here, let's go into Latin, and we'll just put on a simple bossa nova here. Now you can keep adding. You can put all 4 on at the same time. Here's a nice one called Organ Blues. So if I go back in to that R&B or go into jazz, big band jazz here. Now, when you choose the one you want, this is pretty cool. You can put it in the OTS setting, and you want to store it in your registration memory. So if I get in here and now, you just saw me do something where it remembered the organ blues on 4, and then I switched to the Boogie Loops and pushed number 1. So it was actually playing both of them, the organ blues here and the Boogie Loops here on top of each other. But you don't want a lot going on in your variations here. Because you don't want to muddy it up, because a lot of these are great, but boy, they really come in handy on certain songs. Now, if I go into my arranger here, this is called a Chord Add-On. And you can see that one keeps going. Chord Add-Ons 2. Reggae accompaniment, offbeat chords. So you really have to listen and pay attention to what you're doing with these. But once again, you don't want to do too much with too much going on in your variations. Let me look real quick and see if we have any. And sorry, Agard, I spelt your name wrong there. Hey, Warren, nice to see you up there in Vermont. Hope you got a little bit of snow there. We're not getting anything, but anyhow, it's always good and having a good time. And there we go. We got somebody from the Netherlands there. That's my trip to the Netherlands, and a great article. And there it is. This is from the Netherlands, and you can see I can't read it because it's in Dutch. But that was me in the stadium on my Yamaha EL90 organ, and pretty amazing event. I had somebody actually on the back of this page that somebody actually wrote out what the whole article says. And it says, organists can win the game. And we can get into that in a little bit. If anybody has any questions right now, it'd be a good time to ask them. I'm looking at my iPad here so I can see any questions going on there. So I see, we got Jimmy Hoffa's wife, Jan Hoffa, on there from Holland. So lots of good stuff going on there. Where is your husband buried, by the way, Jimmy Hoffa? Because we can't figure it out over here. Nice to see you, Bob, from Woodstock. Very, very good. So this week's song is Smile, and I'm going to give you a little idea here because I have that actually on Bank 12 registration 10. So let's take a listen real quick to what I'm talking about. Now, I changed all the OTSs, so we have a little. Horns coming in there. There's variation C. Now, can you hear that beautiful piano? It's only on variation D, but that's why I went in, okay, to the style into the mixer and raised that chord 2 up to 127. That's that piano. Now, this is a perfect example of what I'm going to show you here. I'm going to go to OTS3, which is just a clarinet instead of that big organ, and that's going to highlight this piano nicely. And this is the stuff you have to do, and it's amazing these keyboards do it, but... piano coming in quite nicely. So I've got a couple questions here. So let me take a look here. Let's see. We've got question from Warren. Mel, be quiet. You already had your cookie this morning. Anyway, set it to start with the style. No, you can't set it to start unless you program it into the registration. Then you should be able to get it to start when you start it. So, you can turn it on, but as soon as you hit it, it plays. It needs to know the tempo for it to match up. So that's the problem, and that's why it won't let you do the multi-pad unless you actually strike it. So I don't think you can do that. I'll give it a shot, Warren, but we'll see what happens. And, so there we go with that. So you really want to listen and pay attention to what's going on in the different variations. So if I go to jazz here, and I listen to Big Band Crooner, for instance. Now, this is an important one, so we'll listen to Big Band Crooner real quick on Variation A. Now, there you could put a multi-pad on, but let's listen to B. I just took out the horns. Now, if I had my select on, my legacy, go into keyboard, and I have the Boogie Loops, for instance. So if I had those horns on like I did before, it's going to cause a little bit of a problem. You got too much muddiness going on there. So then you'll be able to use your multi-pads. But you really have to go through your multi-pads, and what I would suggest doing is just going through them. Legacy is great. Arranger 1, you're going to get for instance, an 8-beat piano. 16-beat. And of course, you can control your volume for your multi-pads right over here in your volume section, and that will be important too as we're moving forward and going on here. Warren, it says use the select sync start next to the multi-pad buttons. And let's see, so yeah, we have a 2-button function here, select and sync start. So maybe, yes, you can do that. We'll have to give that a shot. Warren, thanks for pointing that out. Warren's my best buddy out there, does a lot of work for us. Sometimes he gets music condensed from 5 pages to 3, and he's just a great big help and a good friend too, so that's nice to have. So anyway, you want to go through your different, and don't let it scare you, the name of it. So here's Christmas Loops. So right here, you've got the sleigh bells, okay? But this one is going to be used if you're playing a swing, okay? So if we go into our preset style, for instance, and let's go into big band count, all right? Listen to that. So you can see what happens there when you use those. So you can turn any style into a Christmas style using your multi-pads. Let me check to see. Okay, you have to hold the sync start. Look at Warren, he's off, man. Let's hold the sync start down. And I'm going to try that, Warren, after we get off the air. So that we can see how that works, and I'll probably try it on a song coming up in the future. But anyhow, Ranger 1, Ranger 2, Latin percussion, vocals, you just have to listen to them. Interesting. Oldies pop vocal. Okay, so here we are, and we're into the oldies pop vocal. So we're going back into our style here. We'll go into R&B, and we're going to find what I'm looking for here. And let's see where that is. It could be in the session here. Give me a second. I'll find what I'm looking for. There's an old 50s one in there. Could even be in easy listening. Boy, there's so many styles in this, it's almost insane. Trying to find stuff and doing it. Let's go into rock. And 6/8 rock, let's try that. Not the one I'm looking for, obviously. And we'll go into oldies. I'll bet it's in there. Well, there's your piano boogie. So that goes along with, here we go, 6/8 slow rock. So here we are. So if we go into our select and we're on vocal, we were on oldies pop vocal. The idea there, but you got to do a lot of research through these and just pick out your favorites, okay? And it's try and remember them or store them even. You can create your own file of your best multi-pads, but you're not going to use them a whole heck of a lot because how great the styles are. So let's see if there's any questions there. Right. Yeah, it doesn't seem to save in the OTS. That's correct, Warren. So anyhow, that's what you're going to do with multi-pads. So it's rare that you're going to use them, but when you do, just make sure that your variations, you pay attention to your variations. Because just like we just did here, when we went into Smile, variation A, B, the horns come in, there's that piano. Now, I love this vintage rumba, and just for fun, let's see, that's an oldies pop there, so that's the select button. Let's just see what comes up as we change these real quick. Now, it's staying on that multi-pad, so we don't want that to happen. We're on brush kit now. So now if I go back in and change, it should change it automatically to what we want to do. So here's 60s Blue-Eyed Soul. One of my favorites, by the way. This is so great. If I go in, you can hear that was a guitar that was on there. Go into Mike's user styles, and you'll find the song in there. And let's go to C. Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. Now I have a nice piano there, right? And what I'm doing is I'm going to hit the intro button twice. You've probably seen this video already, but the intro's too short. Now, I have another question that somebody asked me, so we're going to talk about that a little bit, okay? So, when you go into your menu button here, let me get back up where I need to be, right there. When you go into your menu button, split and fingering is really important. You can see where mine is set, but right now, sometimes on some of these, like right 3 is not the same as the rest of the keyboard. And you might be missing a part, especially if you're loading it into the new SX900 series. You know, that's important there too. But you can switch them just by touching here to make sure, you know, that it's at the same place that you want it to be all the time. So you want to take care of that. And you can use the dial to do it. You can see it changing there. And we'll go to uh, C3, B2, that's where I want it. Same thing with right here, left. Okay, so that's where you change that. Any other questions right now? Yeah, multi-pad creating, absolutely. In menu 2, okay, this is where you're going to find that. And you can store in there what you need to do. Multi-pad creator, MIDI multi-pad recording, audio link multi-pad. Now, when we get into this, you can be importing things off of CDs. Now, give me a second here. I'm going to get us turned around and get back to you. All right. There we go. Let's go back out where we need to be. Okay. So, you can purchase, and this is very interesting and it's a lot of fun, and I'm glad you brought this up about the multi-pads because it's pretty awesome actually. I used to purchase them on CDs, but you can just download them now to a thumb drive. But sound effects CDs, which has thousands of sound effects. So when I played America the Beautiful at the ballpark, I had recorded fireworks going off, and you can assign them to the multi-pad there with that creator where it said audio file. Interestingly enough, I have the 2 CDs here. So that's an audio file. So make sure we understand that the MIDI file is a file of the song. So when you record as a MIDI file, it records everything. You can make up your own song, it'll print the music on the screen, and you can edit there. An audio file you can't edit once it's done. So once you put in the sound effects from like fireworks, when you're playing, you know, your national anthem, regardless of where you are, you can just hit that multi-pad and it's going to sound just like fireworks are going off in the background. It's a lot of fun to do and it's very easy to do. I do have a couple CDs, like I said, with sound effects on them, so you know, if somebody needs something, I can certainly look for it for you. But you can probably just go to iTunes and download some sound effects series right onto a thumb drive. That way you can import them in there. Once you import them in there, once you hit the multi-pad after that style's going, then at that point the timing will match up for it. So let me check to see if we have any other questions there. And I don't think so. So is there anything anybody wants me to cover here? It is now 11:39, so we've been on about 40 minutes. But is there anything anybody wants me to get into here real quick? Because I think we have a few minutes left. And I'm taking a look here at my iPad to see if there's any questions coming in. So I'll give you a second and I'll be right back. I'll put on one of my songs here And we've got my Star Trek. That's a lot of fun. Now there's the multi-pad right there with the whooshes that just came in. Okay, so for instance, you could actually record, let's say we went into Superman there, right? Well, you could actually find an old Superman movie and record the audio right from your TV set. Put it on a thumb drive. And the sky's the limit. If I'm doing Star Trek, for instance, which I just did, I could load one of the Star Trek movies, because I have all of them, and I could actually have Captain Kirk's voice saying, "Scotty, I need warp speed right now." So you can record that with William Shatner saying it and put it in one of your multi-pads for playing over top of the song. It's crazy what you can do. You know, when you look at the Genos, it's an amazing instrument that the sky's the limit to what you want to do. It truly is. And so I used to take stuff off the TV all the time. And I even edited some things, and I used to use things at the stadium. So, for instance, now I didn't have a keyboard like this back in the 90s when I was playing for the Wilmington Blue Rocks, which is a single A team for the Kansas City Royal. But let me tell you what I did, all right? So, the biggest thing on TV at this time was South Park. So, you know, I would be searching the internet for sound effects. I'd be watching the hottest movies, the hottest TV shows to see if there was anything I could steal and use at the stadium for baseball, right? So we had a leadoff hitter. His name was Kendrick Moore. And of course, a leadoff hitter in baseball, his job is to get on base any way he can with a walk or a hit, anything, any way he can get on base. He wants to get on base, and he wants to steal second base to get into scoring position, right? So Kendrick, aka Kenny, I watched South Park and realized that on every episode, Kenny got killed on South Park and amazingly returned the next week. And the cartoon character, he said, "Oh my God, they killed Kenny." So that happened every episode. So I actually recorded that audio from the TV set, put it on my computer, and so I didn't use God's name in vain. I edited it from saying God to gosh. So I would practice saying gosh, shh, shh, and I clipped that in right there. So when I did the sound effects, so here's what happened. Kendrick Moore, it took me 3 weeks with that sound effect pulled up every time Kenny got on bass. He was just fast and didn't get thrown out of second much, right? So he goes to steal second. He gets thrown out by the catcher, and the crowd goes, ah, and then, oh my gosh, they killed Kenny. Well, it was the best sound effect I ever used and the worst sound effect I ever used because, like I said, South Park was big. The entire stadium was laughing so hard that the game actually stopped. The umpires were laughing too hard to keep the game going. The players, Kenny was jogging back to the dugout from second, holding his stomach because he was laughing so hard. And there's 2 big rules in baseball if you're the baseball organist, okay? One of them is you can't put anything out over the speakers during this pitching sequence while the pitcher's foot is on the mound, right on the little rectangular square there. So when his foot's on there, you can't play anything. The other thing is you never stop or slow down a game. Well, everybody was laughing so hard that the game actually stopped. It was the longest minute to me because I realized at that point, this is a big no-no. And believe it or not, my reputation was so good in baseball, no one ever said anything to me because they knew how bad I felt for the reaction of the crowd. But that's what you can do and store this kind of stuff in your multi-pads. So if you're playing themes or anything like that, you know, you record these audio files and, you know, beautifully enough, these keyboards have MIDI record and audio record, so there's a whole lot you can do with that. Let me check here to see if I got anything going on. And, oh, thank you very much, CD. Yes, I am feeling better. Boy, was I very sick for quite a while, probably over a month. And of course, you know, I got that new 4K video camera, and I sent you out an email this morning. I got part of it solved, but I've had Smile done and on the camera now for a week, and I can't get it uploaded. So I'll be working on that this afternoon because I did finally get the camera, my iMac, my new iMac, to communicate with the camera. So I solved that this morning. So now I have to solve the recording, and I'm going to have to record this now for a 3rd time. But once it's done, I'm back every week with songs, and I love doing these live streams. They're a lot of fun, and especially for my group overseas, you guys that are in lockdown over there, that's really sad. Now, one of you asked me how you could read the letter that Joe Biden sent me. I'll actually upload that from my camera. I'll take a picture of it, upload it, and I'll email both of them to you. The one thing is a letter from now President Biden, and the other one is the official congressional record, because as a senator here in Delaware, he spoke about me in Congress and the atmosphere that I brought to the stadium. And of course, I played a lot of events in Delaware, you know, caroling on the square in Wilmington and all kinds of charitable events and things like that. But it was quite an honor to be talked about in Congress. I'm not sure there's another baseball organist anywhere that was talked about in Congress. So it's pretty cool. And you know, it's very tough over here right now because there's some issues with you know, Biden and what happened in the election, and you know, half the country's very upset. But we'll all get through it, and we'll do the best job that we can do. So, you know, I'll snap pictures of it, I'll email it out to you guys, and you can just enlarge it on your screen so you can read what it says. So let me check one more time and see here. All right, that's the last message I got there, so I guess we'll call it a day for now. Make sure, very important, some of the Tyros songs I did with the old videos, there's some really big songs on there we should redo on the Genos. Now, I'm going to do new songs too, but the bottom line is there's some really important songs, so do not hesitate to send me an email on which redo you want me to do. Because we didn't have my chord system back then. You know, we've improved everything. I have to redo the music and things like that. But I want to be able to do that because some of those songs are really important. Now I'm seeing some messages coming in. Let's see. Yeah, Mike Higgins, I'm always learning too. Hey, Julie! I see Julie's online. She's, sorry I'm late. Okay. Well, Julie is from Australia, and she's here in the United States, and came to my store, and I met her and her husband, and she bought a new keyboard from me, which was a lot of fun. And what a wonderful couple those guys are. So, you know, I'm very fortunate to be able to do these classes all over the world now with YouTube. It really makes it special, and you know, I'd like to see my live streams get bigger and bigger. There is something I'm going to be doing that I'll fill you in on right now. I just inked a deal with a local TV station, and I'm working on simulcasting it on a radio station, but I'm going to be doing a live half-hour music show on TV here in Delmarva, where we live, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, Eastern Shore. So I'm going to be doing a live TV show and playing music through the whole thing. It's not going to be lessons or anything. It's going to be me playing. And of course, that's all going to be recorded, so it can be, the music can be simulcast on the radio. But I'll be able to send you the link, or you can go on my website and click on it and watch my new live television show that we're about to start. So it's pretty cool. And I'm going to match that up with my Song of the Week. So the Song of the Week is there, and of course every week I'm going to have a different theme. So it's going to be an interesting television show and radio show, and I'll let you guys know as soon as I get started so you can tune in via the internet. One more time here. Julie, you're going to have to tell me why you were late, and do you have a note from your mom? That's what I want to know. And let's see what we got here. Oh, Finland, thanks for the stream. Thank you very much too, and thank you to everybody. So remember, give me suggestions for redos for my old Tyros videos, and also very important, someone asked me to do a show on these multi-pads, and I did it. So if there's something you want me to do a live stream on, let's do it and have some fun. So until next time, Mike Mixon from Keyboardamerica.com. Have a great day. Love you guys all out there. I've got 3 USBs to make here today and get shipped out. And once again, you can go to the book bundle page to buy the book bundles. And you know, this new digital retailer, you can purchase one song at a time. And you get my custom music with all the settings on it and variation changes. You get the MIDI file, you get the setting. So it's a great value. And you know, with the 3 book bundles, we've been playing in those for like 4 years or so. So you know, we're getting thin on songs on those that are still remaining in the book. So we're going to be doing some other ones on there too. But these redos of older songs, some of those songs are important. So make sure you let me know and email me. And Kathy and I both love you guys, and you take care. And signing off here from Mike Mixon Music Man Cave and Baseball Room. And I'll get the letter from Biden and the congressional record out to you. Thank you, and have a great week.